Hello, everybody. Miss Debbie here. Did you notice that wave? We practice different waves here, don't we? Like this kind, this kind, this kind. And look at, I added a new one. Miss Debbie here. Glad to spend my evening with you. The sun is going down. There's some noises around me. I'm outside. Birds are singing, planes are winging. And I have some good stories to share and help you settle down and go to sleep on this beautiful summer evening. So let's start. Hello, everybody. How are you? How are you? How are you? Hello, everybody. How are you? How are you today? I'm fine, thank you for asking, and I hope you are well too. So let's do Thumpkin because my friends love to do Thumpkin. I guess that's the name of the song, Where is Thumpkin? Although we're doing all of the fingers. So let's start. You make two fists, put them in your lap or behind your back. Where is Thumpkin? Where is Thumpkin? Here I am. Here I am. How are you today, sir? Very well, I thank you. Run away. Run away. Where is Pointer? Where is Pointer? Here I am. Here I am. How are you today, sir? Very well, I thank you. Run away. Run away. Where is Ringman? No, it's Tall Lady. Where is Tall Lady? Where is Tall Lady? Here I am. Here I am. How are you today, ma'am? Very well, I thank you. Stride away. Stride away. Where is Ringman? Where is Ringman? Here I am. Here I am. How are you today, sir? Very well, I thank you. Run away. Run away. Where is Pinky? Where is Pinky? Here I am. Here I am. How are you today, dude? Very well, I thank you. Run away. Run away. Yeah, that Ringman boy, he's difficult to put up. They call him Ringman because traditionally this is the finger people would wear their rings on. Because a gold ring would go um, right up to the heart. The blood from that finger area goes right up to the heart, and your ring was given to you by your loved one. So, let's just jump into our stories, okay? Our first story, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. We've had some crazy weather, if you care to pay attention to that. We've had some hot, really hot weather. We've had some really rainy weather. We've had some thundery thunderstorm weather. And we've had cold weather too. And we've actually had some nice weather. But what if your weather was food that came down from the sky? That's what this story is about. Cloudy with a chance of meatballs. Maybe a weatherman would say cloudy with a chance of rain. In this case, the rain is the meatballs. Take a look at that picture. We were all sitting around the big kitchen table. It was Saturday morning, pancake morning. Mom was squeezing orange for juice. Henry and I were betting on how many pancakes we each could eat. And Grandpa was doing the flipping. Seconds later, something flew through the air and headed toward the kitchen ceiling. Oh, that's why, because the dog was running. And it landed right on Henry. Look at the pancake right on Henry. After we realized that the flying object was only a pancake, we all laughed, even Grandpa. Breakfast continued quite uneventfully. All the other pancakes landed in the pan, and all of them were eaten, even the one that landed on Henry. I mean, You flip pancakes, but I've never seen anyone flip them into the air. Have you? Maybe an old granddad would do that. That night, touched off by the pancake incident at breakfast, Grandpa told us the best tall tale bedtime story he'd ever told. Here it is. Across an ocean, over lots of huge bumpy mountains, across 3 hot deserts and 1 smaller ocean, there lay the tiny town of Chew and Swallow. And here's Grandpa telling the story. And they're imagining it. The tiny town of Chew and Swallow. Ooh, it's way off in the distance. In most ways, it was very much like any other tiny town. It had a main street lined with stores, houses with trees and gardens around them, a schoolhouse, about 300 people, and some assorted cats and dogs. And there's this little town. But there were no food stores in the town of Chew and Swallow. They didn't need any. The sky supplied all the food they could possibly want. The only thing that was really different about Chew and Swallow was its weather. It came 3 times a day, at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Everything that everyone ate came from the sky. Whatever the weather served, that was what they ate. But it never rained rain, it never snowed snow, and it never blew just wind. It rained things like soup and juice. It snowed mashed potatoes and green peas, and sometimes the wind blew in big storms of hamburgers. The people could watch the weather report on television in the morning, and they would even hear a prediction for the next day's food. So here's the weather forecasting say, oh, it's going to be cloudy with a chance of meatballs. When the townspeople went outside, they carried their plates, cups, glasses, forks, spoon, knives, and napkins with them. That way, they would always be prepared for any kind of weather. If there were leftovers, and there usually were, the people took them home and put them in their refrigerators in case they got hungry between meals. There's the lady holding out her plate for pancakes. The football team is eating pie. Woo-wee. All kinds of pie. This boy's collecting orange juice in an umbrella. And here's a lady running after some chicken drumsticks. Looks pretty funny. The menu varied. By the time they woke up in the morning, breakfast was coming down. After a brief shower of orange juice, low clouds of sunny side-up eggs moved in, followed by pieces of toast. Butter and jelly sprinkled down for the toast, and most of the time it rained milk afterwards. For lunch one day, frankfurters, already in their rolls, blew in from the northwest at about 5 miles an hour. There were mustard clouds nearby. Then the wind shifted to the east and brought in baked beans. A drizzle of soda finished off the meal. There they are in the restaurant that has no roof. Dinner one night consisted of lamb chops becoming heavy at times with occasional ketchup. Periods of peas and baked potatoes were followed by gradual clearing with a wonderful jello setting in the west. There's lamb chops laying on the ground. The sanitation department of Chew and Swallow had a rather unusual job for a sanitation department. It had to remove the food that fell on the houses and sidewalks and lawns. The workers cleaned things up after every meal and fed all the dogs and cats. Then they emptied some of it into the surrounding oceans for the fish and turtles and whales to eat. The rest of the food was put back into the earth so that the soil would be richer for people's flower gardens. This kind of picture looks like a Dr. Seuss imagination, doesn't it? Life for the townspeople was delicious until the weather took a turn for the worse. Spaghetti ties up town. Traffic snarled on Lower Intestine Street. Record-breaking pasta fall causes chaos. Ladies reading the newspaper. One day there was nothing but stinky gorgonzola cheese all day long. The next day there was only broccoli all overcooked. And the next day there were Brussels sprouts and peanut butter with mayonnaise. Another day there was a pea soup fog. No one could see where they were going, and they could barely find the rest of the meal that got stuck in the fog. The food was getting larger and larger, and so were the portions. The people were getting frightened. Violent storms blew up frequently. Awful things were happening. One Tuesday, there was a hurricane of bread and rolls all day long and into the night. There were soft rolls and hard rolls, some with seeds and some without. There was white bread and rye and whole wheat toast. Most of it was larger than they had ever seen bread and rolls before. It was a terrible day. Everyone had to stay indoors. Roofs were damaged, and the sanitation department was beside itself. The mess took the workers 4 days to clean up, and the sea was full of floating rolls. To help out, the people piled up as much bread as they could in their backyards. The birds picked at it a bit, but it just stayed there and got staler and staler. There was a storm of pancakes one morning and a downpour of maple syrup that nearly flooded the town. A huge pancake covered the school. No one could get it off because of its weight, so they had to close the school. Look at that. Oh, look at that huge pancake, complete with syrup. Lunch one day brought 15-inch drifts of cream cheese and jelly sandwiches. Everyone ate themselves sick, and the day ended with a stomachache. Did you ever eat cream cheese and jelly sandwiches on white bread? My mom used to make that all the time when I was little. I've never had one since. There was an awful salt and pepper wind, accompanied by an even worse tomato tornado. People were sneezing themselves silly and running to avoid the tomatoes. The town was a mess. There were seeds and pulp everywhere. The sanitation department gave up. The job was too big. Everyone feared for their lives. They couldn't go outside most of the time. Many houses had been badly damaged by giant meatballs. Stores were boarded up, and there was no more school for the children. And here's the awful weather. So a decision was made to abandon the town of Chew and Swallow. It was a matter of survival. The people glued the giant pieces of stale bread sandwich style with peanut butter and took the absolute necessities with them and set sail on their rafts for a new land. So here they are constructing boats out of stale bread, peanut butter. And there they've got sails made out of Swiss cheese and pizza slices. Looks like a little bacon on the top for a flag. And in the distance, look at that. scary, huge meatballs and sub sandwiches, and all the little boats are going to the sea. After being afloat for a week, they finally reached a small coastal town, which welcomed them. The bread had held up surprisingly well, well enough for them to build temporary houses for themselves out of it. And here they built nice houses out of bread for the temporary time being. The children began school again, and the adults all tried to find places for themselves in the new land. The biggest change they had to make was getting used to buying food at a supermarket. They found it odd that the food was kept on shelves, packaged in boxes and cans, and bottles too. Meat that had to be cooked was kept in large refrigerators. Nothing came down from the sky except rain and snow. The clouds above their heads were not made of fried eggs, and no one ever got hit by a hamburger again. And nobody dared to go back to Chew and Swallow to find out what had happened to it. They were too afraid. Henry and I were awake until the very end of Grandpa's story. I remember his goodnight kiss. Grandpa sure tells a great story. The next morning, we woke up to see snow falling outside our window. We ran downstairs for breakfast and ate it a little faster than usual so we could go sledding with Grandpa. It's funny, but even as we were sliding down the hill, we thought we saw a giant pat of butter at the top, and we could almost smell the mashed potatoes. The end. Isn't that a great story? This is a classic. A classic. And here's a picture of Henry and his sister and their mom. Oh, they might have to fight over one meatball. Maybe the dog will get it. I love this book. I love this book. It's been around for at least 30 years. Let's see when it was written. It was written by Judy Barrett and drawn by Ron Barrett, and it was published in 1978. Whoa. 78, 88, 98, 2008, 2018, 19, 20, 21. This book is 43 years old. It's older than your parents. The end. Skidamarinka-dink-a-dink, skidamarinka-doo. I love you. Skidamarinka-dink-a-dink, skidamarinka-doo. I love you. I love you in the morning and in the afternoon. I love you in the evening and underneath the moon. Oh, skidamarinka-dink-a-dink, skidamarinka-doo. I love you. Cha-cha-cha. That's a fun song. Everybody knows that song. Our next book for this evening is Goldilocks and the Three Bears. I couldn't resist. I just wanted to hear this story again. This one is told by Emma Chichester Clark. And it's gorgeously illustrated. Let's see who made the illustrations. I guess the illustrations are also made by the author. Once upon a time, there was a family of bears. Mama Bear, Papa Bear, and Baby Bear. One morning, Mama Bear said, "Oh, bother, this porridge is much too hot." Now, porridge is a hot cereal. I guess it's similar to oatmeal, only it's creamier and smoother. It's just delicious. "Never mind, my dear," said Daddy Bear. "Let's go for a stroll while it cools off." But that day, as they were leaving, a little girl named Goldilocks came by, and goodness, was she hungry. So there are the bears leaving their gorgeous house. And there's Goldilocks watching them leave. Goldilocks walked straight into the bear's kitchen. That porridge smells good, she said. She didn't wonder, she didn't ask. She stuck a spoon into the biggest bowl and swallowed an enormous mouthful. Yuck, she cried, disgusting and cold. Then she dipped a spoon in the middle-sized bowl. Roar, eek, this one's boiling hot. Last of all, she plunged a spoon into the littlest bowl. She sighed. Yummy, she cried. This is my kind of porridge. It was exactly right, so she ate the whole thing. After nosing through the shelves, Goldilocks found something to read. Now I need somewhere to sit, she said. She didn't wonder. She didn't ask. She plunked herself down on the biggest chair. Oh, she cried, what a horrible hard chair. She tried to get comfy in the middle-sized chair. Oh, too soft. Awful, she groaned as she sank into the cushions. At last she spotted the smallest chair. Ah, she sighed. Bravo, she cried. That is my kind of chair. But snap, crack, when she sat in it, she broke it into pieces. Stupid thing, said Goldilocks, shaking out her hair. I suppose, she said, there are beds upstairs. She didn't wonder. She didn't ask. She climbed up onto the biggest bed. Terrible, cried Goldilocks. It's much too hard. Bam, bam, bam. She leaped onto the middle-sized bed. Oh, save me, she moaned. It's so stiflingly, smotheringly, suffocatingly soft. There's got to be something that's just right for me, she grumbled. And what did she see? Ooh, she sighed. Bullseye, she cried. Now that's my kind of bed. It wasn't too hard and it wasn't too soft. It was as right could be. Goldilocks climbed in. Cute. And what book is she reading? That's right, she's reading Little Red Riding Hood. Meanwhile, the family of bears had arrived back home. I'm hungry, said Daddy Bear. I'm starving, said Mommy Bear. And I'm absolutely ravenous, said Baby Bear. But, hey, roared Daddy Bear, someone's been eating my porridge. Oh my, gasped Mommy Bear, someone's been eating my porridge. Ew. And where's mine? Squealed Baby Bear. Someone's been eating my porridge and they've eaten it all up. And left the dish on the floor. Oh my, poor darling, gasped Mommy Bear. Then Daddy Bear noticed his chair. It wasn't how he'd left it. Someone's been sitting in my chair, he roared. Oh my goodness, gasped Mommy Bear. Someone's been sitting in my chair. Mommy, cried Baby Bear, look! Someone's been sitting in my chair and they've broken it all up. That someone is a hooligan and a thief, growled Daddy Bear, and if I find them, there's going to be trouble. Daddy Bear marched up the stairs. Mommy Bear and Baby Bear tiptoed up behind him. Upstairs, things were just as bad. Someone's been sleeping in my bed, roared Daddy Bear. Someone's been sleeping in my bed, gasped Mommy Bear. Baby Bear ran to his room. Someone's been sleeping in my bed, cried Baby Bear, and she's still in it. Uh-oh. I don't believe it, growled Daddy Bear. It can't be true. But before anyone could say another word, Goldilocks leaped out of bed. She was so frightened her hair stood on end. Help! Help! Save me! She screamed, and she ran away. The three bears laughed and laughed and laughed. I'll never know how a little girl like that could be so naughty, said Mommy Bear. Goldilocks ran all the way home, where she hid under her bed and didn't come out for a week. And she never poked her nose in other people's houses again. Maybe, maybe not. The end. Are we getting ready for bed? I think we should. Let's put our jammies on, put our pajamas on. Okay, nice clean pajamas, smell nice and fresh. And before we go to bed, we have to do a few other chores. This is the way we wash our face, wash our face, wash our face. This is the way we wash our face before we go to bed. This is the way we comb our hair, comb our hair, comb our hair. This is the way we comb our hair before we go to bed. My hair's a mess. This is, my goodness. Help! This is the way we brush our teeth, brush our teeth, brush our teeth. This is the way we brush our teeth before we go to bed. This is the way we blow a kiss, blow a kiss, blow a kiss. This is the way we blow a kiss before we go to bed. We need another story, though. Just to settle down, right? How Do Dinosaurs Say I Love You by Jane Yolen, illustrated by Mark Teague. This series, How Do Dinosaurs, is so good. You can find it in any library. And there are several books. As you know, we've read some of them. How Do Dinosaurs Say I Love You? And here's a big old baby dinosaur giving his mommy a kiss on the head. You woke in the morning in such a bad mood, then sat at the table and fussed with your food. That's pretty rude. But then you blew kisses and waved from the door. I love you, my dinosaur. We're just getting used to our emotions. Out in the sandbox, you threw lots of sand. You ran from the slide after slapping my hand. I'll do it myself. But you suddenly turned with a smile I adore. Oh, I'll always love you, my dinosaur. You moped through your nap time and slept not a wink. You flooded the house when you played in the sink. But you got out the mop and then cleaned up the floor. I love you so much, little dinosaur. Off in the car, you kept kicking my seat. And when we got out, you were dragging your feet. But you held my hand tight when we walked in the store. I'll love you forever, my dinosaur. Dinner disaster, you made such a mess. Would you stay up past bedtime? The answer was yes. But when you smile sweetly and hold back your roar, when you kiss me and hug me once, twice, even more. Aw. That's when you give love, and I know this is true because that's how a dinosaur says, I love you. The end. Love these pictures of dinosaurs. Oh, so it is time. It is time for Lily White's party. And you know, those Lily White sheets and pillows. And I bought myself some new pillows because that's important, you know. Some people drool when they sleep. You know, they sleep with their mouth open. Maybe you do. That's why it's important to wash your sheets, especially if your dog goes on the bed or your cat. You know, a little gritty gets on the bed, or sometimes bugs. That happens to me sometimes. I have to shake out my lily white sheets every day. Go hippity hop to bed. I'd rather stay up instead. When mother says must, there's nothing but just go hippity hop to bed. But let's have one more story. If you can tuck into bed, we'll have one more story. How do you go to sleep? By Kate McMullen. Let's find out how some animals go to sleep. Ooh, she's yawning. Squirrel curls up inside her den within a hollow tree. Octopus changes color as he slumbers undersea. I didn't know that. Parrot stands on one foot, his head tucked in his feathers. Meerkat sleeps in a heap, a family all together. How do you go to sleep? Is a tree your cozy bed? Do you turn purple, orange, and red? Maybe if you're eating ice pops. Do you rest your head upon your back? Sleep with others in a stack? No. Zebra locks his knees and stays standing up all night. Tiger naps in leafy shade to hide her stripes from sight. Frog hibernates all winter under snow so deep. Dolphin shuts just one eye and goes swimming in her sleep. How do you go to sleep? Do you stand and lock your knees? No. Is your bed beneath the leaves? No. Is your blanket made of snow? Maybe feathers. Do you sleep swim to and fro? No. Mouse digs a tunnel, then she snoozes underground. Pigeon perches with his friends where shelter can be found. Seal pokes out her snout and doze floats in the bay. That looks like fun. Skunk runs around at night and then sleeps the day away. He's called nocturnal. How do you go to sleep? Do you burrow underground? Roost with all your pals around? Roosting means up high in a tree. Do you float until the dawn? Does the sunrise make you yawn? No. Well, when you go to bed, how do you go to sleep? She's taking her stuffed toys. Do you first turn off the light? Yeah. Do you wish the moon good night? Do you close your tired eyes and listen to some lullabies? Do you think about your day and all the fun you had at play? Do you hug and kiss, kiss, kiss? Do you go to sleep like this? I think you do. Yep. That makes for a good night's sleep. Oh, that was a good sleepy book. So that one will put you right to sleep because day is done, gone the sun, from the lake, from the hills, from the sky. All is well, safely rest, sleep is nigh. Day is done, gone the sun, from the lake, from the hills, from the sky. All is well, safely rest, sleep is nigh. And Wee Willie Winky's coming to check if all the boys and girls are asleep. Wee Willie Winky runs through the town, upstairs and downstairs, in his nightgown, peeping through the windows and peering through the locks. Are the children in their beds? It's almost 8 o'clock. Thank you for sharing story time with me tonight, this evening. I wish you a good night's sleep and a wonderful day tomorrow. It's summer. It's just wonderful. Here's my song for you. What is my song for you? You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Good night. Sleep tight and don't let the bugs bite. That's what we say when we're camping. Good night. I love you.